At the start of the 2010s, smartphones were just getting started. Artificial intelligence had few consumer-facing uses, and self-driving cars were something out of a science fiction movie. Quite a bit has changed. Today we are going to look back at some of the best and most important inventions of the decade. But before we start our countdown, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon as well. So let's get started. Number 10. Tesla Powerwall. As solar power gets cheaper and cheaper, the new challenge is to find a way for your home to store extra energy and use it when it's needed. Tesla's Powerwall, which came out in 2015, lets you do this in a very sophisticated way. You can program it to collect energy during off-peak hours and use it during peak hours. As more states start to charge different prices for energy based on when it is used, like California, Arizona, and Massachusetts have already done, you will save even more money and put less stress on local power plants. Number 9. Ring Doorbell. When Ring founder Jamie Siminoff pitched his smart doorbell on Shark Tank in 2013, no one was interested. 5 years later, Amazon paid a cool $1 billion to buy his company. The Wi-Fi doorbell automatically starts recording video when its built-in motion sensors detect movement, and a two-way intercom lets people talk to the person at their door through an app. The LAPD has said that when Ring is installed, there are 50% less break-ins. YouTube is full of videos of burglars running away when the homeowner turns on the porch floodlights or asks, "Who's there?" At the same time, activists and lawmakers have asked Amazon to say more about what kinds of information police departments can access through their partnerships with the company to do surveillance. Number 8. Consumer LED light bulb. LED bulbs use a lot less energy than the incandescent bulbs that have been used for decades. Incandescent bulbs waste 90% of the energy they use to make heat, but until 2010, LED bulbs were too big, too expensive, and too hard to use anywhere but in large industrial spaces. Then, when the government passed laws that said bulbs had to be more energy efficient, companies like GE and Philips made bulbs for regular people. The bulbs use 20% less energy than their incandescent counterparts and can last 25,000 hours, which is more than a decade with normal use. Number 7. The self-driving car. In the first half of this decade, Google and Apple tested fully autonomous cars in secret. Since then, most of the big car companies and ride-hailing services like Uber and Lyft have done the same. Now, people can call driverless taxis that are being tested in Phoenix and Pittsburgh. The technology promises to make the roads a lot safer thanks to machine vision and super smart artificial intelligence. The most optimistic estimates say that this will lead to 90% fewer deaths. At least one industry doesn't like the idea of this innovation spreading to more roads: the nearly 4 million truck and taxi drivers in the United States. Number 6. iPad. When it came out in 2010, many people made fun of the iPad's name and size, which was somewhere between a big phone and a small computer. Since then, the iPad has sold 400 million units and given rise to competitors from Amazon, Microsoft, Samsung, and Google. Tablets have become important tools for business today. Just look at how they've made the food service industry more efficient by getting rid of cash registers and making it easier to keep track of what's in stock. There are now more than 1 million iPad apps in the App Store. These apps cover everything from real estate to medicine to education. Number 5. The Nest Thermostat. Who would have thought there would be a market for a thermostat that looks nice? Tony Fadell, who made the iPod, and Matt Rogers, who used to work for Apple and was an engineer there. The two of them started the smart thermostat company Nest in 2010. This was a surprising change of direction for them after they made one of the most popular gadgets ever. The Nest thermostat lets you set a temperature schedule ahead of time. It gets to know your habits over time and can tell if someone is home based on motion sensors and devices that are connected to your Wi-Fi. All of this lowers the amount of energy your home uses when you're not there. This saves customers money and keeps carbon emissions from being released when they don't need to be. Google paid $3.2 billion for Nest in 2014. This may not have been a surprise. Number 4. Venmo. The idea is very simple. You can send money to someone right away by tapping a few buttons on your phone. Andrew Cortina and Akram Magdan Ismail, who lived together in college, started Venmo in 2010. It gave people a new way to split restaurant bills or pay rent, and it made a whole generation wonder how people used to settle IOUs. The company was bought by PayPal in 2015. It has 40 million users a year, which is more digital customers than most major banks, and in 2019 it processed more than $100 billion in payments. Number 3. SpaceX's reusable rocket. Say what you want about Elon Musk, the Twitter user, but his ideas are visionary and his inventions can change the world if he follows through on them. SpaceX spent most of the past 12 years making its rocket system reusable. When SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket took off in December 2015, put a payload into orbit, and then landed at Cape Canaveral, it started a new era of space travel. Falcon 9 launches cost about $62 million, or $2,500 per pound of cargo. This is 1/4 of what it cost to launch a rocket 10 years ago, which has helped startups get into space. It could also be useful if, we ever have to leave Earth and move all of humanity to Mars. Number 2. CRISPR. The CRISPR gene editing system is still in its early stages, but it's clear that it has the power to change the world. Scientists and startups are using this technology to try to cure diseases like sickle cell anemia and cancer. Basically, it is a way to cut out disease-causing strands of DNA and replace them with new ones. The technology is still being used, even though Berkeley and MIT are still fighting over who has the right to license it. In 2018, a Chinese scientist said that he had made human embryos with changed genes. So it's possible that we'll look back in a few decades and say this is where humanity went wrong. But let's think positively. Number 1. Google Assistant. Early versions of AI could do things like recognize faces in photos or beat you at chess, but not much else. Google Assistant may be the closest thing yet to what is called general artificial intelligence. The Google Home smart speaker, Google phones, and other devices with the Assistant installed can mostly talk to people by voice. It can write messages, add reminders to your calendar, search the internet for answers to your questions, and instantly translate spoken words into 27 different languages. Siri and Alexa are left in the dust when it comes to understanding what you want. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching and see you next time.